G2D, Volunteer Monitor Program. HF Operations. G2D01A. What is the Volunteer Monitor Program? A. Amateur volunteers who are formally enlisted to monitor the airwaves for rules violations. B. Amateur volunteers who conduct amateur licensing examinations. C. Amateur volunteers who conduct frequency coordination for amateur VHF repeaters. D. Amateur volunteers who use their station equipment to help civil defense organizations in times of emergency. G2D02D. Which of the following are objectives of the Volunteer Monitor Program? A. To conduct efficient and orderly amateur licensing examinations. B. To provide emergency and public safety communications. C. To coordinate repeaters for efficient and orderly spectrum usage. D. To encourage amateur radio operators to self-regulate and comply with the rules. G2D03B. What procedure may be used by volunteer monitors to localize a station whose continuous carrier is holding a repeater on in their area? A. Compare vertical and horizontal signal strengths on the input frequency. B. Compare beam headings on the repeater input from their home locations with that of other volunteer monitors. C. Compare signal strengths between the input and output of the repeater. D. All these choices are correct. G2D04B. Which of the following describes an azimuthal projection map? A. A map that shows accurate land masses. B. A map that shows true bearings and distances from a specific location. C. A map that shows the angle at which an amateur satellite crosses the equator. D. A map that shows the number of degrees longitude that an amateur satellite appears to move westward at the equator with each orbit. G2D05C. Which of the following indicates that you are looking for an HF contact with any station? A. Sign your call sign once, followed by the words listening for a call. If no answer, change frequency and repeat. B. Say QTC followed by this is and your call sign. If no answer, change frequency and repeat. C. Repeat CQ a few times, followed by this is. Then your call sign a few times, then pause to listen, repeat as necessary. D. Transmit an unmodulated carried for approximately 10 seconds, followed by this is and your call sign, and pause to listen. Repeat as necessary. G2D06C. How is a directional antenna pointed when making a long path contact with another station? A. Toward the rising sun. B. Along the gray line. C. 180 degrees from the station's short path heading. D. Toward the north. G2D070. Which of the following are examples of the NATO phonetic alphabet? A. Abel, Baker, Charlie, dog. B. Adam, boy, Charles, David. C. America, Boston, Canada, Denmark. D. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. G2D08D. Why do many amateurs keep a station log? A. The FCC requires a log of all international contacts. B. The FCC requires a log of all international third-party traffic. C. The log provides evidence of operation needed to renew a license without retest. D. To help with a reply if the FCC requests information about your station. G2D09C. Which of the following is required when participating in a contest on HF frequencies? A. Submit a log to the contest sponsor. B. Send a QSL card to the stations worked, or QSL via Logbook of the World. C. Identify your station according to normal FCC regulations. D. All these choices are correct. G2D10B. What is QRP operation? A. Remote piloted model control. B. Low-power transmit operation. C. Transmission using quick response protocol. D. Traffic relay procedure net operation. G2D11A. Why are signal reports typically exchanged at the beginning of an HF contact? A. To allow each station to operate according to conditions. B. To be sure the contact will count for award program. C. To follow standard radiogram structure. D. To allow each station to calibrate their frequency display.